Hi guys, welcome to Lavelle 3D Interactive, the interactive university. I'm Jude and this is the L3DI podcast. And I'm joined today by somebody very cool, Yoshi Vu.
Hi, how are you? Just did a little reveal. Sorry.
Very cool. How you doing?
I am doing great. How about yourself?
I'm very good. Listen, I invited you on because I wanted to talk about like the whole COVID thing with you because obviously you're in the entertainment industry. And for people who don't know, could you maybe start with a little introduction of yourself, what you do?
Oh, sure. My name is Yoshi. As you said, I'm a 3D generalist. That's my title. So I basically do, my primary skill is 3D modeling. That's what I do for a lot of films. So I make a lot of the CG assets, like ships or environments or whatever needs to be made. Um, but as a generalist, I also do a little bit of other things, some lighting, texturing, minor animation, some compositing. So that's pretty much it. That's
And
me.
and you've worked on games, you've worked on movies, you've worked on
Mhm.
TV shows. Um, and obviously like this whole COVID situation has made all that shut down and stuff. So like how's it affected the industry?
Um, so I can only speak from my experience and a little bit anecdotally from hearing from friends in the industry, but it seems like some people are doing better depending on which studios they're at, and others are not doing as well. What I mean, because some studios that are focusing, I guess, more on animated features that don't require a lot of filming might have more work. I don't know. Like I said, this is anecdotally, but for myself, it's been a little rough. I haven't really had a lot of good luck finding substantial work. And talking to a few friends, they've had the same issue. So I can only assume that because there hasn't been a lot of filming, there isn't anything for us to work on
Mm,
really. So I'm not really sure what's going on or when things are going to pick up again.
mm,
Because even if the pandemic were to be solved tomorrow and everybody's cured, filming would need to commence, before we get started.
mm,
So I mean, I like I said, I don't know. It's just a crazy situation that's going on.
mm. I mean, you said animation obviously is not been as affected. Do you think that there will be a big rise in animation and things like that over the next month, year or so?
I mean, possibly. I like I said, I don't know for sure, but what is it? We have Love, Death, and Robots coming, right? That's another animated
Mhm,
show. So possibly. Uh, that would be my guess, based on some of the job postings that I've seen.
mhm.
Possibly. Oh, the games industry seems like is doing fairly well
Yeah.
or okay. And like I said, I'm not basing this on anything at all. No actual data. This is just me sitting at home talking to friends. So
Yeah.
so I've been trying to get into games, but it seems like that's pretty rough too to find work, because I'm guessing
Mm,
everybody like myself that might be out of work from another area of entertainment that might not be doing as well are trying to find work in the remaining areas. So the competition is probably pretty rough.
yeah. I mean, because my brother's in the game industry.
Yeah, Fall Guys, right?
That's it. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
one of the top guys on that game. My brother's been working from home for months. Um, do you think that that's sort of how things are headed now in like entertainment and stuff like that?
I would hope so. That would make life a lot easier.
Hmm.
But me personally, I prefer working in a studio in an office.
Right.
So even if I was working from home, I'd probably build an isolated office or something like that. Maybe put a holographic person next to me so I don't feel alone. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I was
So because go ahead.
sorry, I cut you off. Sorry.
No, I was just saying I just work better in a structured environment. That's all.
No, I get that. I'm the same. I need to have stuff around me and people around me. But I saw this thing. There's a soap opera in the UK called EastEnders,
Mm,
and they've started filming again. Like, with plexiglass between the actors, so there's no way they can actually be, breathing on each other and stuff.
Yeah.
That, I mean, do
Do
you
you
think
see it, or do they
that
remove it in post?
the thing, because it's see-through, you can't see it, but they remove it in post. And if there's ever any like key scenes where they have to, kiss their boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever, they've got the person's actual partner
Hmm.
there, so they're actually kissing their actual partner, so they're not
Like in
kissing.
silhouette or something?
Yeah, to
Okay.
avoid the
I mean,
contact
that
with
makes
somebody.
sense. Well, they did that with or is it Kirk Cameron, right?
Mhm.
The actor. He he's very devoutly religious,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and so when he has scenes where he has to kiss, they bring his wife in. Yeah, and they gave her like a wig in one movie, I think, and they just
Oh
film
wow.
it in silhouette.
Oh wow. I mean, it's just like, it's crazy, like, to think that there's that. I mean, I get it, obviously, because at work we have to wear a mask all day. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, you know. So I totally understand why they're doing it. It's just, it seems, it's so surreal, like everything that's happening. Um, so what I mean, like, we've seen a lot of movies being streamed on things like Disney Plus and stuff like that. What is your opinion on that?
So there was I'm glad you brought that up because I noticed that some of the films I can kind of see the effects of the pandemic.
Hmm.
Like you said, you mentioned your show with the plexiglass. So there was a recent movie. I forgot which one it was, but long story short, you could tell based on how they were filming the locations and everything that this was at least partially done during the pandemic,
Okay.
during quarantine. Like, and you start to see that. And I'm curious if in the future, in future generations, if they'll notice that, or if
Right.
it's something that I'm picking up on because I work in the industry and it's obvious to me maybe. I don't know. It's just it's weird to see.
Mm.
And oh, there's also I can also see the effects of what I'm assuming are either low budgets for VFX or people working from home without clear enough monitors or good enough monitors and stuff like that. Because a big part of it is dailies when we go in and actually view our edit, our cut, our version of whatever we're doing
Mm.
on a big screen. So you sit in a theater and you can actually see it on the big screen.
Mm.
But working from home, you don't have that, and that is a huge thing. So if you watch, there's this movie with Kevin Bacon recently. I think it's like a thriller horror type movie. It just came out,
Mhm.
but there's a top-down shot of uh, a road,
Mhm.
right? And they show the car driving down the road, and my roommate said, "Why does that look weird?" And I paused it and I said, "It's the wrong scale because the road is 2 lanes but the CG vehicle is 2 lanes wide. So
Oh,
I think when they were looking at it on their tiny screen, they just saw it as a road. But if you zoom in on like a 4K TV, you can faintly see the lines, the lane dividing,
oh
the
wow.
paint, yeah, the lane divider. It's very faint, but you can see it on
Oh,
a like because I was watching on a large screen.
yeah.
So I have a fairly large TV. The 4K. I'm a gamer. I need my
Mm.
4K TV. So we saw that right away, and I'm like, oh yeah, so it's the wrong scale. And if you look, I'm like, none of the trees or anything are moving. So my guess is this is like some kind of image
Yeah.
that he just used and just dropped a CG car in. And I know because I've done that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the difference here is that I think they missed the scale. And my guess is it's either low budget VFX or working from home. Like I said, they don't have a big screen, so
Sure. But the
they
thing,
didn't
I
bother
mean,
checking it.
like you mentioned 4K TVs, like, surely if you work in the industry, you'd need something like a 4K TV.
You would, but not everybody uses it. Not everybody does.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if I'm working, how often I wouldn't think to check a random shot like that, like the top-down road shot
Hmm.
on the TV, because it seems like such a simple shot. It's so quick that I would probably just still do it on my desktop computer
Right.
and send it to the client. And if the client goes, "Oh, it looks great," and they approve it, then that's it. You know, what I mean, that's how a lot of these things end up in movies. People go, well, how did they miss this? I'm like, well, sometimes shots never even make it to being viewed on a big screen, like in dailies. You know, I might send it over the computer, over email, and we're both just viewing it on the screen, and it looks fine. Yeah, approved. And it isn't obvious until you view it in the theater or something like that. And you're like, oh, okay. But because that's why most of the time when you see these, I guess, mistakes, they're in very, very quick shots
Right.
because obviously they don't get the same attention. It's just, oh, all right, looks good, move on. We got to focus on the hero shots.
Mm.
So
So I guess like when you say the dailies, like does that mean that you have a daily thing where you watch what people have done on a theater screen?
yeah, so every studio does it slightly differently, but every day you put your latest version of, or however far you got as on your shot or whatever you were assigned. And so they might have like, oh, dailies are at 2:30 or whatever, excuse me, whatever time they set, and everybody that has a shot to be reviewed will show up and sit in the little theater or area, whatever they have set up, and we go through the list of shots, and the supervisor might be there and pause it and go, okay, can we, change this? How about we make it darker here? Or you might have the client there. It might be, a director or a producer saying similar things. But sometimes you might have a client come in and just look over your shoulders too at your computer desk and be like, you know what, that looks great. But that rarely happens. So that's why we have dailies though, is just so you can see it on the big screen. You can see it how it's meant to be seen,
Mm-hmm.
and you can catch things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, we're all human, so mistakes happen. Because I know how it is. You're gonna be like some internet people commenting on this, going, "Well, if that's the case, how come we have mistakes in movies?" You got no. We're human, okay? It happens.
Yeah, like in The Simpsons. In scene so episode so and so seen the.
Oh yeah, trust me, I know. Like I don't want to say which property, movie or show. I'm not gonna say what, but there's a major set piece that I was asked to make for something, and it's very iconic to fans of the source material.
I know which one you
You
mean.
know, and I'm just like, I'm not as familiar with the source material. I'm just doing a few Google image searches and figuring out what I figure out, and I'm just jamming stuff together, like whatever, that looks cool.
Yeah.
And then you go to conventions or whatever, you meet people and they're like, oh yeah, you did that, and I noticed that this was like this, and I like that because this is the logic behind it, and I like how that connects to this. I'm like, I was literally thinking of none of that, but cool, awesome. So I mean, sometimes that happens.
Yeah, but like, because obviously, um, when people when you're making these movies, there is the idea that it will be shown on the big screen.
By the way, it was not the Death Star I was talking about, in case that's what
Okay.
you're thinking of. No,
No.
I actually cared about that a lot,
Okay.
and I spent a lot of
I was
time
gonna say,
on like everything I did. Even the TIE fighter that's wrecked in the scene when they first show the
yeah.
inside. I had the Star Wars cross section book, and I
Wow.
actually put in the actual like piping, the cooling pipes the way it's supposed to be inside the wing,
Wow.
the heat dispersion panels, like everything makes sense mechanically. Everything is in there. Every wire, yeah. Like no, it's
No.
not the Death Star, so don't give me that look.
No, it's when you said no, like I thought that's what it was, and then when you said it, you just did a random Google search, I was like, I'm thinking, no, it's not the stuff. He knows it better than that.
No, no, you don't treat that with any less than the utmost respect.
Absolutely, absolutely.